What's Gucci? You too. It's Pat Brady, you dig? Marvelous Blunt Super in the building, you dig what I'm saying? Live and direct, you dig what I'm saying? And woo! That Loki is going crazy. That Loki is going crazy. We thought it was gonna be a dud. You know the ratings ain't going crazy, but man, that new Loki season 2 has been going crazy. Episode 4, 5, and then the finale this Thursday. Oh my goodness. But before we go any further, man, if you haven't already, man, subscribe to Marvelous Blunts. ASAP Rocky. You dig what I'm saying? Run that subscribe button up. Like, comment, subscribe on this video. All the other content. Got a lot of content coming this week as well. You dig? But like I said, man, I'm actually going to do a double review, episode 4 and 5. You dig what I'm saying? I was out Denver having it up, at the Biscuit Company, eating good at the Broncos game. Shout out to my boy Bill, Mighty Prophet Nick was good. So, I didn't really watch Loki. I didn't get to do no review, and then since everybody didn't want to do a review this Sunday, apparently, I was like, man, let me go ahead and just do 4 and 5 and one enchilada. You dig? So, man, we're going to go ahead and get this Loki season 2, episode 4 and 5 review started. And, man, I can't even lie, man. Episode 4, whoo, man, the stakes actually went up. Finally, Marvel said, man, let's turn it up. You feel me? I was getting a little bit worried, man. I can't lie, man. I was watching Loki. I think everybody was getting a little bit worried. We like, man, what is this doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what is this show actually doing, man? Episode 4 was just like a banger, dog. They just was like, boom. You feel me? So, you know, they finally, kind of figure out what they're going to do at the episode 3. They get Victor Tommy. They say, hey, let's go to the TVA, get your temporal aura. You feel what I'm saying? And, let's get it going. You dig what I'm saying? Like, let's actually get this thing opened up so they can actually fix the timelines. You feel what I'm saying? They got messed up. So, you know what I'm saying? This episode, they actually show He Who Remains and Renslayer already had a link. You dig what I'm saying? Already had a link. You dig what I'm saying? And He Who Remains, you know what I'm saying? They say in the comics that she and He Who Remains, Renslayer and He Who Remains, be together. So, He Who Remains had Renslayer in the field, but then he wiped everybody's memories, man. Everybody's memories. You dig what I'm saying? So everybody's memories get wiped. And that's how, the TVA really got started. Really, Renslayer and the TVA really fought the multiversal war. That's what they were showing us. So boom. They're like, man, how are we going to figure this out? You know what I'm saying? How can we get, Victor Tommy to give his temporal aura? You dig what I'm saying? Can we really fix this timeline? You dig what I'm saying? Like, can we really fix everything that's going on? Especially with the fact that, like, everybody really doesn't know what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, the timelines are literally branching, y'all. They are ripping apart everywhere. So, they have these moments in the TVA, with Victor Tomley, where it's like, OB's like, man, like, I based everything that I wrote off you. And then, Victor Tomley learned everything he learned off him. So, man, they go out there, man. They're like, dog, look, somebody got to go out into the field. They got to actually change, you know what I'm saying, like, and fix the little temporal aura so the timelines can connect back together and flow properly so the TVA won't explode and disappear and everything like that. So boom, Renslayer, Miss Minutes job I gave Renslayer to got her hip hey, you know what I'm saying, you're not gonna like the fact what He Remain does, but I'm gonna let you see what he really be doing with you in your variants. You feel what I'm saying? And let's make our own move to make our own play in history. So Renslayer and Miss Minutes actually end up going to the TVA. It's some captured TVA members that the ones that try to prune the timeline. They kind of on the edge where they like, man, are we going to help, B-15, Mobius, and Loki, or are we going to be against the TVA trying to be a better place? You feel me? But they was about to actually be a better place. But Brad, he was not with it. He was like, dog, I don't care about none of this. Heal the TVA, heal the world. I want to go back to my reality. Boom. So then Renslayer and Miss Minutes pull up and they basically say, hey, look, you going to help us out, rebel against Loki and them, or you're going to turn into a little mini square, a little machine that turns them into little squares. Oh my goodness. That episode 4 had the most gruesome scene ever in Disney Marvel history I've seen, where they actually murdered him. Miss Minutes was just loving every minute of it. You dig what I'm saying? So Man, so Miss Menace and Renslayer, they running crazy through the TVA looking for Victor Timely. They trying to basically get him out the way at this point. And Loki actually ends up going to a moment that was in episode 1 where he prunes himself. So I'm just like, bruh, at this point, I think Loki is really in control of this TVA thing. He's really controlling the timeline because now at this point, he's pruning himself. He's looking at Sylvie, but it's himself again. I'm like, dog, like this is getting crazy, man. And Victor Timely was just about to have some good cocoa, and then the TVA member dude got pruned. He got a run from Renslayer, Miss Menace, and you know they had to run down on Miss Menace, and Miss Menace had probably one of the scariest moments of episode 4. She told him, "You'll never be him. You'll never be he who remains." I was like, "Dang," you feel me? So finally, like, all right, let's get him in the suit. Let's get Victor Timely fixing the timeline. Man, when I tell you this scene had me jaw dropped to the floor. Victor Timely goes out to go fix the timeline and turns into Fantastic Four, Mr. Fantastic Noodles. He turned the ramen noodles out there, dog. Ramen noodles. I was like, nah. It was like, it felt like Endgame with Infinity War. Like, dang, they just lost. Spoiler alert, that was the end of the episode. You dig what I'm saying? So, episode 4, dog, I definitely was just like blown away. It was a lot of suspense because you was like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? And at the end of the day, I'm like, they're going to fix the timeline. But when I seen Victor Timely turn to spaghetti, I was like, oh, nah, they got a serious problem on their hands, man. A serious problem on their hands. How they going to fix this, dog? The TVA can't get fixed now. The temple order too high. Woo! Shout out to Loki, man. Shout out to Loki bringing the heat, man. Y'all see with the hella shirt. Shout out to heroes and villains. You dig what I'm saying? Representing the day for Team Asgard, because man, Loki was bringing in episode 4, man. Definitely high Infinity War type threat type loss. You dig? So episode 4 definitely gets a lighters up. I love episode 4, but let's go right into episode 5, man. You dig what I'm saying? Episode 5. Now, episode 5, Loki is time slipping again. He comes back at the end of the episode, like the TVA was exploding. He wakes up, he's by himself, and he just time slipping. And all of a sudden, everything around him, the TVA just starts just turning to spaghetti. Like everything started dusting like it's Endgame. You dig what I'm saying? I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, what is happening right now, dog? Loki's time slipping. The timelines turn to mush, you did, and then Loki just keeps ending up in different timelines, branch timelines of everybody that's game. He ends up in 2012 with B-15. He ends up in 1994 with OB, and you know they start building the TVA together through him actually just being a physicist. He see Mobius in 2022 with kids all back in their timeline. Casey breaking out of Alcatraz. Like now it's getting weird. I'm like, man, what's going on? So basically with OB and Loki find out the reason why he's visiting all the timelines because they have a piece of something that he needs to, you know, go forward because right now he's just time slipping and OB's like, you got to get in touch with your time slipping. And shout out to OB, man, because he is the OG of this joint. Like he figured out Loki's issues in 1994, which makes me believe, I think that Loki created TVA. I think this is all He Who Remains plan. He wanted Loki to make this TVA for some strange odd reason. But OB basically tells him, like, I'll help you out with the physics part, but you got to learn how to control your time slipping so we can do what we got to do. So they figure out a plan. Big spoiler alert, by the way. They figure out a plan to basically say, hey, let's get the game back together and maybe we can relive this moment and do what we got to do. Man, so Loki goes, gets everybody with the temp pad that OB made. He had to convince Mobius. Like Mobius, like, bro, Mobius about to TR with the tool from the garage because he's like, man, you sound crazy telling me that you came from another place to save me and do this, that, and the third. Man, it definitely was crazy. Only thing I didn't like about when they was going around all the places trying to convince everybody, I think B-15 should have had some more scenes of like how he convinced her. Shout out to Screen Crush. I saw like a lot of channels that said like, you know, it was supposed to be like it could have been a moment where I guess she saw Loki in 2012 and was like, oh no, it's Loki, like he's a bad guy and don't help him. But you know what I'm saying? Like don't want to help him because he's a bad guy, but really it's a new Loki. But I think they could have did something more with B-15 scene. But Other than that, they're going around, going to get everybody. So he goes and gets Sylvie, thinking she don't remember him, and she's like, "Loki, I remember you. I was there. You feel me?" And she doesn't want to go back and help Loki because she thinks everybody should have their free will, their life. And Loki has gotten to the point where he's like, "I just want some friends, man. Loki, Sylvie, I don't care about what you got going. I just want my friends back." So, Sylvie denies it, and Sylvie, all of a sudden, she's in her world, and all of a sudden, her world starts turning to spaghetti until it disappears, dog. Worlds, multiverses, timelines are disappearing. The sacred timeline going all crazy is making the world turn to mush, everybody. I don't know what's going on. Sylvie goes back to link with them, and then all of a sudden, all of them start dusting and turning to mush. And all of a sudden, Loki, boom, time slips again. And spoiler alert, Loki figures out the best way that he's going to beat this situation is time slipping. Learn the time slip like Kang and how Sylvie is doing. And if he can time slip enough, he can go back to where they actually got, I guess, disappeared at the moment before Victor Timely went out. Now, I do think episode 5 was a little bit too much talking, a little bit too much filler. I think they should have did more of like, man, what is going on? Like, what is the next thing that's happening? Like, what's the next thing? I know it was needed to like explain their story and relevance, but I didn't like that. But I am excited for episode 6. My prediction for episode 6 is this. I think, I think that Loki is going to be ending up running the TVA, and then he's going to have to go to other timelines and tell Avengers like, yeah, like it's a Kang out there. We got to come together and stop this dude named Kang. I think Loki's going to become a good guy. But we are going to see episode 5 wasn't as good as 4, but it still had the same like when they were turned into spaghetti and mesh. But I am definitely excited tomorrow for episode 6, season finale of Loki, man. We wrapping it up, man. What do y'all think of Loki, man, so far, season 2? Are y'all excited for episode 6? Let me know in the comments below, man. Let me know down below. And let me know if y'all going to be rocking with Loki, man. And then y'all know the Marvel is right after that. So we're going to see how it rocks and roll with Loki, man. If you haven't already, man, like, comment, and subscribe to Marvelous Blunts. Yes, I know I did pack 2 episodes into one, but that's how we do on Marvelous Blunts. Man, if you haven't already, like I said, thank you for the support, man. We appreciate it on this side, man. Subscribe to Marvelous Blunts, man.